This video is intended to demonstrate the use of the sound system in the chapel at the venue at Birchwood. When using this system, we ask that if you need power, we ask that you only use these two outlets and do not unplug anything that has been plugged in already. When you start the system, this power strip will be the way that you will turn on everything that is needed. We ask at no time is this amp to be changed, powered on, powered off, any volumes changed, and nothing on this either to be changed. If you somehow need more power than what is accessible, this is the only other power outlet that you have available to you. As we continue and go into the mixer itself, this is the only part of the system that you should be using. This main is for the speakers within the chapel themselves. So these speakers inside the chapel will be accessible and used from here. So if you bring your main up, now let's say you're using an iPad or something that requires a dongle or an accessory. We do have one here at Birchwood. This is the lightning cable that is for an iPad or an iPhone. We do ask that you please make sure you leave that behind. If you need to disconnect that for the use of another type of dongle for an Android or some other type of device, and yes, Apple has changed the device and dongle on some of the newer phones, that you please leave that dongle behind, an accessory behind. That is going to be dedicated to 9 and 10. So on 9 and 10 is plugged in for the use of that. If you're using a computer or something with an auxiliary cable like this, that is going to be dedicated to channels 7 and 8. So 7 and 8, and you should not need to make any adjustments to anything other than bringing the volume up and down from that supplied audio source or device. 5 and 6 is dedicated for the wireless lapel microphone. Now it is a lapel microphone meant for the officiant, and that is the dedicated volume for that. The only other adjustment you may need to make at any given time is if there are pops or boom in the voice. This low is what can help adjust that to have less of that pop or boom sound. When using the wireless microphone system, within the area where the batteries are kept, if you were to power this on like that, that will allow you to power on the system. Closing that cover, there is a mute option here. Put it on mute, and you don't have to worry about any volume in case 5 and 6 is up in the meantime. Once you're ready to use the microphone, you can turn that on. You can bring up 5 and 6, and you will then have sound coming across the lapel microphone. We're going to bring that back down. We're going to go ahead and mute that. Once you are done and completed with this, we ask that you please power this off because it is on battery. So we ask that you hold, and the unit will turn itself off. Lastly, if you're using a piano or a guitar, something of an instrument, this cable right here is a mono cable, is meant for those instruments, and that is plugged into channel 1. So that volume will be what adjusts the volume for that. All of the mutes are muted because there's nothing plugged in. They're not needed. So it helps you navigate just what are the channels that you're using or could be in use for. When using the outside speakers out in the patio and in the foyer and breezeway, those are dedicated. This is the main volume for those speakers out there. It's called auxiliary master. Auxiliary master. It has nothing to do with this master at all. That could be completely down. So whatever is plugged into these channels to be used for audio, for music, lightly out there, can be controlled by that. Then once you're controlling the volume on one of these channels here, 7 or 8, again for an 1/8 inch computer, If you're using, again, a dongle or an accessory for your phone or an iPad or something else like that, that's on 9 and 10. You would adjust using the volume control for the outside patio. You would use this green auxiliary. We ask that you adjust it lightly because, again, once you're inside, you cannot hear those outside speakers or how loud or soft they are. We have made this system so that it will not go beyond a certain volume and hopefully not have any distortion or any concerns. But again, you do want to slowly turn these up, go outside, make sure it sounds good, and those are the volumes that you will need. At this moment, because there's a lapel microphone, you wouldn't really want to use that lapel microphone for any announcements outside, but if you do need that, you can clip that onto yourself, and you can use, again, this auxiliary will be dedicated for the outside speakers out on the patio. Finally, once all these volumes are brought down and everything is ready to be turned off, simply turn off that power switch, and that will turn off everything within the chapel. We hope that this video was helpful. We always ask that you do have someone knowledgeable about audio equipment if you're going to be accessing this system. If you have any questions, we're here to help. Let us know.